everybody, DevSense here. 2:29 p.m. Central Time on Thursday, April 12th, 2012. We're looking at Intellicast here. I have the Continental Radar View turned on, plus Titan Storm Tracking, plus National Weather Service alerts. And they stand out right here in the center at the border of Colorado and Kansas, going up into Nebraska. Tornado watches have been issued. That means keep an eye out for tornadoes to form, and that's going to go up until 8 p.m. Mountain Time. They may change that, but 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central Time. And there's just one cell here now. The computer's already detecting hail. That's most likely damaging winds as well with that. And it's going to be heading to the south-southeast in the general direction of northwest Kansas. So be aware of that. Also, as I back it out here to the west, damaging winds still detected out in California. We had confirmed tornadoes yesterday in northern Cal. That's on video. You guys can go search that. I'll try to find a link and put it down below. But tornadoes in North Cal yesterday, and also tornadoes down here in Puerto Rico yesterday. We also had 4 feet of hail in the panhandle of Texas up here near Amarillo. And we've got video of that. I've got that link down below as well, so you can go watch those videos. But a lot of things going on weather-wise. Looks like we have some damaging winds out ahead of the storm here, already breaking out in eastern Kansas now while I'm talking, and that's going to be heading up into Missouri. Now, over the next day or 2 days, we're going to see this large system push east-northeast. So just pay attention to it. You know where you live, and watch these areas. Of course, Midwest, watch Colorado, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, South Dakota, Minnesota, anywhere in this region here. Multiple forecasters are talking about it. Weather Channel's talking about it. All the big guys know this is going to happen. The southern draw on this storm is going to pull up that warm, moist air from the south. This is already pretty cold. We have winter storm warnings up in the mountains out west. Just go ahead and turn those on. Here you go. So we got winter weather advisories. That lets you know how cold the air is. And when you get that cold and warm mix anywhere in here, plus we just had freezing temperatures. Look, it still have frost and freeze advisories issued for tomorrow now on the East Coast. So this is going to continue on. As long as we get this mix, it's going to carry on into the foreseeable future. Tornadoes, damaging winds, large hail outbreaks, even freakish hail outbreaks like we saw yesterday, 4 to 5 feet deep. Now, also yesterday, we saw a tremendous amount of movement around the entire planet. I mean, really, I cannot even begin to describe. We were all sitting on the edge of our chairs last night, especially when the 7.0s hit the West Coast, or the 7.0 and 6.2. Now, the mainstream media, man, have you guys seen it? It is just, it's laughable. You watch CNN, you watch Fox, you watch any of the big guys, it's almost like nothing happened. You'd almost not know that the Earth went into overdrive yesterday. 4 feet of hail, tornadoes in Puerto Rico, tornadoes on the West Coast, freezing temperatures in the Midwest, multiple dozen earthquakes occurring that really, really draw your attention, even if you are a skeptic. So I can only tell you guys, have a plan and be prepared. That's the best advice I can give you. Have an earthquake plan, a severe weather plan, and possibly even a civil unrest plan that results from either of those two things. But have those plans ready and be prepared. Make sure your friends and family know those plans, especially because you may have to enact that at a moment's notice in the middle of the night. You got to figure it's 2:30 now. We're starting to see tornado warnings pop off in the Midwest. Well, you know how it goes. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're asleep, or your loved ones are asleep, and the big one hits, or the large storm hits. Well, unless they know a plan, unless they know what to do, they're going to be one of these people walking around in a daze, and you don't want to see your friends, family, or loved ones having that happen to them, and you don't want it to happen to yourself. I'm not trying to lecture you, folks. I really am not. I can give you a complete breakdown of what I've got planned, but that wouldn't help you. Everybody lives in different areas, so you have to have a shelter plan, you have to have a flee plan for your region, and a flee plan for the entire area. So, for instance, if I live in St. Louis, Missouri, and a big earthquake hits, well, I have a choice to make. I'm either going to sit with my rubble of a house and try and sit there and figure out what I'm going to do, or try to go to some place where I can get out and get food and water and help. These are all things you have to consider beforehand so that you're not left when a huge catastrophe hits like, let's just say a 7.0 were to hit the Midwest. And if it happened here anywhere near St. Louis, well, we would be in a completely rough situation, cut off from the world for a long time with no help. And that could happen for anybody, anywhere on the planet, if these kind of catastrophes hit you like have been happening over the past few days. Now, is this a total global uptick? Well, as of yesterday, I was just dumbfounded for the number of 6, 7, and 8.0 earthquakes that all happen in a 24-hour period. Then you take these other smaller 4 and 5.0s that happen off the East Coast and the West Coast. You put it all together, it really does look like yesterday, something happened yesterday. What? I don't know yet. What are the chances all that would happen in one day? The hail, the tornadoes, the large earthquakes, all at once within a few hour period. That is just phenomenal to see in itself. So for earth changes yesterday, April 11th, 2012, we'll remember this one for a very long time. Mainstream media, rest of the zombies out there, they don't even know what's going on. And you go talk to them, they just say, huh? Earthquakes happen every day. What are you talking about? It's ridiculous the response we're getting from some of the zombies. When I say zombie, I mean a person who is still plugged into the system and gets all their news from the mainstream and gives anybody a hard time who projects any other news other than that, okay? So, there you go, guys. Big day yesterday. Much love. Be safe.
Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is April 18th, 2012. It is Wednesday evening, and here is your update for today. We're flying blind tonight, folks, just letting you know. It says my Adobe Flash Player has crashed. So, we won't worry about that. Nothing's going to get us down. Let's first go to the Extinction Protocol 2012. Let's see what we got going on here. Alrighty. Okay, underwater volcano activity resumes at Greece's infamous Santorini volcano basin. Also, we have had a 6.2 magnitude earthquake which struck near South Sandwich Islands. Large explosion seen on the sun's northeastern limb. Wow. Looks like something blasted out of it or something hit it. Did North Sumatra earthquake set off a chain reaction? Planet shaken by shocking number of tremors since April 11th, 2012. Yeah, a lot of tremors. And let's see, 6.8 magnitude earthquake strikes off the coast of Papua New Guinea, and that was yesterday. And I might be repeating myself, but since yesterday, but 49th volcano erupts in 2012. Ecuador's Sangay volcano unleashes 2-kilometer ash cloud. And that's it. That's different for today. Let's get rid of that one. And moving on. SOT.net. Earth changes. Rare river porpoises showing up dead. And let's see where this is at. And this is from Yuyang, Hunan Province. Okay. Again with the 6.2 east of the Sandwich Islands. And the 6.8 in Papua New Guinea. Let's see if there's anything else. Forget global warming. Scientists discover glaciers in Asian mountain range are actually getting bigger. Okay. And that's it for SOT.net. Now, let's move over to the E-Energy News. Let's see what's going on at Fukushima. All right. Japan government getting more desperate now, discussing implementing rolling blackouts. Top official apologizes for reactor remarks. Japan Times, the Titanic and the nuclear fiasco. Catastrophic effects of Fukushima fiasco are more far-reaching and long-lasting. Name has already become synonymous with disaster. I guess so. Also, I believe I saw it on Paul Begley's channel, Pastor Paul Begley 34, Paul Begley 34 channel. He says that Russia might take in 40 million people from Japan. I believe that's where I saw that. Don't quote me on it, but I believe that's where I saw that Russia might evacuate a part of Japan, maybe Tokyo, and they're going to move them all into Russia. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. That's not listed here, but I know I was going over the internet, and I'm pretty sure it was Paul Begley's channel. Senator on national TV. I'm so concerned about Unit 4 fuel pool. TEPCO's plan must be sped up. It's very clear there are substantial health questions that have to be addressed now. Japan Times. 28 of every 100 Fukushima pregnancies result in miscarriage or abortion. Of course, we didn't believe the rumor, but we just wanted to confirm that it was groundless, says survey leader. WSJ. Very dangerous situation at Fukushima, Daiichi, says Senator. Taking years to remove fuel carries extraordinary and continuing risks. No comment from TEPCO, Japan government. Quake could send buildings tumbling down, resulting in an even greater release of radiation. Confirmed. 35-ton machine sitting on top of the spent fuel rack and pool of reactor number 3. Extent of damage not yet known. Update. No moving spent fuel at number 4 until 2014 at earliest. Up to 10 years for removal of fuel from all ponds. Reactor building to be demolished. Oh, well, if you're going to wait that long, it's probably going to demolish itself. I believe it's leaning. I researched that and saw that in a few of the articles across the internet. TEPCO releases footage number 3 spent fuel pool. Shows debris, fuel racks, crane. Reuters alert. Fukushima damage leaves spent fuel at risk. U.S. lawmaker. Far worse than he expected. Bags of rocks only protection from tsunami. Oh, what that means. TEPCO. Foundation improvement work begins tomorrow at reactor number 4. Oh. Okay, then. We'll stop with that note. Yes, because that's already now we're going into a few days ago. Okay. So, hope that you are liking my attachments on there. These are the best videos I can find across YouTube. I think they're excellent. And the more information I find also on disclosure, I will post it for you. Don't know how this is going to work because I cannot check this, and somehow my Adobe Flasher is down. The plugin is down. So, I'm going to have to figure that out or upgrade it or do something. Who knows? Alrighty then. We're at Hump Day Wednesday. It's 3 days down and only 2 more to go before the weekend. Whoop, here, now you can see it. 2 more to go before the weekend. You have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Take care and stay tuned. I'm running more videos for you. See you tomorrow.
This latest video that we have is extremely interesting. And
Yeah,
I want you to tell us at home whether or not you think this
Okay.
is an abduction.
Take a close look at this. Field of cows.
Well, how do you explain that then? There you go.
Yep,
Ah,
that's an abduction.
That is definitely an abduction.
can we do that one more time, Mr. Director?
Why wouldn't, if you're a UFO, if you're an alien, why wouldn't you take our prime beef? Which is the best in the world.
That cow was brought safely back to Earth, and it could speak when it returned. It said it was freezing up there.
That's... It is a bit cold.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
No.
Good stuff.
Nice work. Thanks,
Coming-
Cam.
The Rhodesian nationalist leader, Bishop Abel Muzorewa, has accepted Mr. Smith's offer to negotiate an internal settlement based on one man, one vote. But, he says, there are conditions. These include stopping the execution of all captured prisoners of war, allowing guerrillas to take part in negotiations, being arrested. In Australia, Mr. Kerry Packer's cricketers are still pleased about yesterday's High Court decision, which lifts the ban on them playing in Test matches.
This is the voice of Allah, representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. For many years you have seen us as lights in the skies. We speak to you now to service them as we have done to your brothers and sisters all over this, your planet Earth. We come to warn you of the destiny of your race and your world so that you may communicate to your fellow beings the course you must take to avoid the disaster which threatens your world and the beings on other worlds around you. This is in order that you may share in great awakening as the planet passes into the new age of Aquarius. The new age can be a time of great peace and evolution for your race, but only your rulers are made aware of the evil forces that can overshadow their judgments. Be still now, and listen, for your chance may not come again. All your weapons of evil must be removed. The time for conflict is now past, and the race of which you are a part may proceed to the higher stages of its evolution, if you show yourselves worthy to do this. You have but a short time to learn to live together in peace and goodwill. Small groups all over the planet are learning this, and exist to pass on the light of the dawning new age to you all. You are free to accept the
makes a kitchen table makes one this wide.
those who learn
Many go as wide as this. Then they run out.
spiritual evolution. Here now, the voice of Rilon, representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. Be aware also that there are many false prophets and guides at present operating on your world. They will suck your energy from you, the energy you call money, and will put it to evil ends, giving you worthless dross in return. Your divine self will protect you from this. You must learn to be sensitive to the voice within that can tell you what is true and what is learn to listen to the voice of truth which is within you.
It's such a
Lead yourself. This is our message.
really appreciate and that we can't do anything. I insist so delicious, full of only really choice ingredients. I can
Cats have 9 lives.
That's
Have no fears. Seek only to know yourself and live harmony with the race of your planet Earth. The Ashtar Galactic Command thanks you for your attention. We are now leaving the plains of your existence. May you be blessed by the supreme love and truth of knowledge.
gardens.
May I? Please do. Why, thank you. Tomato. Ah, scrumptious, simply.
We understand that viewers in some parts of the region are receiving a breakthrough in sound. We're sorry about this, and we're doing our best to rectify the fault.
Finally, back home, engineers are trying to trace the source of what they call a rogue transmission, which lasted about 6 minutes during ITN's early evening news bulletin. It affected viewers in the Berkshire and Hampshire area served by the Hannington transmitter. They heard a voice which cut across what I was reading. The voice said, "Earthlings, lay down your arms. This is a message from outer space." Well, thousands of viewers later phoned Salon Television, the police, and ITN here. A spokesman for the Independent Broadcasting Authority said this is the first incident of its kind in Britain. Winchester police said some people were frightened by the hoax message. They said they sent an officer to calm down one woman. Well, I hope nothing's interrupted this bulletin wherever you are this evening. From all of us here, good night.
Independent Radio News at 12, David Geary. The Independent Broadcasting Authority is at a loss to explain the mysterious message that broke into a Southern television news broadcast. The slow, deep voice proclaimed, in part, all your weapons of evil must be destroyed. You only have a short time to learn to live in peace. The station was immediately besieged by worried telephone callers demanding an explanation. But as the information officer for the Broadcasting Authority, John Guinery, says, there could be several different causes of the message.
Well, we don't know for sure that it was a pirate call. We know that there were some voices over saying certain things of which we haven't got an exact record. We've had a lot of accounts. Obviously, a lot of people have been phoning us and other people about it. We simply don't know what it was. Broadcasts, of course, are monitored at an operations centre, but there was simply a mumble, and there was some picture distortion. We had a lot of reports in, but as I say, we simply don't know what it was.
Independent Radio News, it's 3 minutes past 12.
אבל זה יורד למטה.
אתה מצלם? אתה רואה?
אני רואה, מה זה? תגיד, שתים יותר מדי?
לא, לא, כולנו רואים את זה.
מה זה? חמישה עיניים.
שיו!
יואו! מה זה?
זה, אמא?
מה זה, ראית? יואו בנברות. ראית את זה?
תראה, יש שם עוד.
תראי שם. מה זה?
אמא, לדור, אמא.
יש קבוצה שלמה שם, תראה.
יואו. זה לא אמיתי. מה זה? ראית את זה?
וואו.
מה זה?
Good morning. My name is Carol Rosen. In 1974, after being a sixth grade school teacher, I was introduced to the late Dr. Werner von Braun in the U.S., the father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him, during that first 3.5 hours, he said to me, Carol, you will stop the weaponization of space. And I said, teachers don't stop until June. He said, no, you have to understand, this is February. And we have to prevent the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system, the first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over, and the last card, the last card, the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat. Well, at the time, I kind of laughed when he said asteroids, and when he said extraterrestrials, I knew I wasn't going to deal with that subject. And now we hear on the news just today, this week, that they've slid in another enemy. Only this time we're going to protect our satellites. In other words, we have to have some reason to spend these trillions, to waste these dollars on a space-based weapon system, and they're all lies. This is a system, he told me, that would never protect anyone. Even back then, he talked about suitcase bombs. He talked about chemical, viral, bacterial, biological warfare, that these space-based weapons would never protect us against. And then he told me that, in fact, if you travel around the world, which I did after he died in 1977, I met with people in over 100 countries who were friends. They didn't want to build space-based weapons. I became a space and missile defense consultant, and I worked with people around the world. I became an advisor to the People's Republic of China. They don't want to build a space-based weapon system, and he told me back then that they didn't. He said, go to Russia. They're considered to be the enemy. I got on a plane by myself. When I got to Russia, I had a list of people that I had read out of the newspaper. Chernenko was in office then. He was the only one I didn't get a chance to meet. They introduced me to everyone when I got there. And when I got back, I said, oh my Lord, this man is telling the truth. There is no threat. And I've been waiting until this day for 27 years, and I'm expecting the spin to happen, because he also explained to me that as a military strategist, as a person who worked on the MX missile, which I did later, he said, you will find that there is going to be a spin to find some enemy against whom we have to build space-based weapons. And now we should expect the spin, because he said part of the formula for the intelligence community is if they might have a weapon, then we have to consider that they do have these weapons. So now they do have these weapons, so now we have to build these weapon systems. And that's the formula, except that it's all based on a lie. And we have witnesses here today that have shown you that these extraterrestrial beings, that these craft that have come here are now not UFOs, they're identified flying objects, and we know that they have beings in them. And we have witnesses here who have told you that they can shut down our missile silos, they can stop a rocket going into space that's a test. We have witnesses here who have worked in the classified departments, who have the courage to come forward here to support what Wernher von Braun told me back in 1974 to 77. And I will testify before the Congress that when I founded the Institute for Security and Cooperation in Outer Space, which I shut down a few years ago because I didn't believe we had a chance with this huge, integrated around the world, complex weapon system, that we had any chance at all of transforming that war industry into a space industry that could provide benefits, like Dr. Greer has said, of global warming. We can end that situation of that problem. We can end the energy crisis. We can build now non-polluting technologies. Wernher von Braun used to tell me that we could have cars back then that drove around off the ground. He described this to me on beams so that we have no pollution on this planet. And we can solve the problems of the people that are urgent and potential, and the other animals and the other cultures on Earth and in space. And we can end the arms race without dislocating the industry jobs, without disrupting the economy, by transforming, Wernher von Braun told me, the war industry into a global cooperative space industry that will provide, he said, finally, more jobs and profits on this planet than during any hot or cold wartime, more products and services that can be applied directly to solving the problems of this planet. And we can have a whole planet now that lives in peace on Earth, with all the cultures on Earth and with all the extraterrestrial cultures in space. And these are words that Wernher von Braun told me in 1974, and I will testify before the Congress under oath about everything I have said and more. Thank you.